Hey, 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 God bless you. God bless you. Come on in. This is your spiritual midwife. Listen, it's time. Are you open for your next? This is the season of promotion. This is the season of your increase. And this is the hour. Listen, Starla, you just keep making my day. How you doing, baby girl? God bless you. I was thinking about you this morning for real. Absolutely. God bless you, Ambassador Keisha. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining me on today. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Watch this. We understand that John 10 and 10 talks about that the enemy comes in to kill, steal, and destroy. So I need you to be aware that this is his plan. So we got to cancel the plan. But we also understand the back half of that, which is the final say, is that Christ came that we might have life and that more abundantly. So we're going after the more abundant life, living our best life. When? Right now. Using our words to become the Picasso over our day, to say what you want to see, to call it, come on here, not as the way that it is, because the Bible talks about call those things that be not as though they were. So I'm talking about getting in the face of whatever is on your heart and on your mind today that needs to change. Do you hear me? Absolutely, Starla. Good things, great things are coming our way. We must stay steadfast, come on here, unmovable. But these assignments that lay ahead of us that are we're attached to is because PS, you know that you would find at the bottom of a letter, that's problem solver. God has gifted us. He has the confidence in us that we can do it. So let us not faint now. Do you hear me? Let us stay faithful, committed, and use our tools, which is we were called to have dominion and power, to have dominion over situations. We can't just let everything fall apart, fall out, and all that kind of stuff. No, let's stay faithful and committed. Listen, it's 10 at 10. I want my 10 at 10 partners. I want you to tag somebody. I want you to tag them. Say, our spiritual midwife is on. Get on the line today. I just want to really talk to you about mental health, having dominion even over your mind. It's like before we can have dominion and pursue and take on the day and the world and all that's in it, we have to take dominion over our mind. We have it, but are we using it? Are we allowing our minds to take us places that we really don't even want to go? Who am I talking to? It's all right. It's real talk today, but it matters and it's going to count. I have dominion. Listen, I'm casting down vain imaginations. We're having arguments in our heads that we ain't even had outside. We have already come to a conclusion of a matter, but let's bring those things and ask God to give us the wisdom and the knowledge of how to, when to, where to, and why we doing it. Oftentimes we need to be reminded. Listen, I want everybody as you come on this morning to say good morning. Listen, let me know that you're on and say, listen, I'm taking my mind back. I'm doing a takeover. Absolutely. Because see, the enemy wants to get in your head and then get in your heart. Come on here and take some things, but take territory back. And today we kicking them out. God bless you. Shalom, shalom. God bless you, Elder Terry. I love you. 1 Peter 1 and 13. Therefore, with minds that are alert and fully sober, set your hope in the grace to be brought to you when Jesus Christ is revealed at his coming. Therefore, with the minds that are alert and fully sober. I'm like, listen, that's work. Alert. My mind is alert. Listen, I think the thoughts of God. God bless you, Ambassador Faina. I love you. I think the thoughts of God. I have to sift out vain imaginations. I have to sift out stinking thinking. I have to bring myself back in under the authority of Jesus Christ. Listen here. Set your hope on the grace to be brought to you when Jesus Christ is revealed at his coming. This ain't just waiting for something to happen. It is My mind gets set back into place when I think on him. When I think about how good he's been. Come on here. When I think about what he's brought me through. When I think about I've been in situations where I could have, should have lost my mind, but I didn't. Come on here. God gives us the evidence. Do you hear me? I love you, Veda. Listen, he gives us the evidence of proof is in the pudding that he always comes through for us. Listen, get out your own head. Do you hear what I'm saying? Stop tripping. Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. I decree and declare that there is no battle that we cannot win. God bless you, Prophetess Jane. Why? I'm dealing with mental health for us Christians. Mental health. I promise you, you cannot keep encouraging, talking to people, being on the high if you don't first start with you. So I need to remind you on today who you are. You've been called by God. Listen, you are anointed. You are appointed. Let's get ready to push. Listen, and we cannot push if our mind is not secure in him. You listen, you will. The Lord will keep you in perfect peace. Those say my mind is steadfast because I trust you, Lord. My mind is steadfast because I trust you, Lord. Even when it looks like folk are taking advantage, even when it looks like that people think they got over on you. Listen, even when you're not doing it unto them, you're doing it unto the Lord. Be the best version of you today. Not what you did yesterday. What are you going to do about today? Listen, I'm still waiting for y'all to come up on here. Come on here. Say good morning to your midwife and let me know 10 at 10 that you're on 2 Corinthians 10:3 and 5. 2 Corinthians 10:3 and 5. For though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. We don't fight stuff. We don't fight back, clap back, do all this kind of stuff based upon our emotions. We tell our feelings how to feel and operate in a more excellent way. We don't do and follow the trends of, you know what? You have to watch the wisdom that's coming from an unsaved person. You hear what I'm saying? Well, I would do this. Well, what does the word say do? And then, because listen, Pentecost was not just a day, it was a lifestyle change. We have entered into a season of the things that we don't do anymore. We listen, we used to act like that before, but this is not that time. We have had an encounter with Christ that has caused us to have a lifestyle change, to do what others cannot do when they are not filled. I decree and declare, Lord, refill us, revive us, renew us, restore us, the joy of our salvation. I decree and declare, I'm still here on 2 Corinthians 10:3 and 5. For though we live in the world, that we do not wage war as the world does. The weapons that we fight are not the weapons of the world. On contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. Listen, take the dominion, take the authority that God has given you, speak to it out of love, speak to it with hope, with perseverance. Ask God, deal with the areas that I don't even believe, that I lost hope or faith in that it would change. But take the authority. We demolish, listen, arguments and every pretension that sets itself against the knowledge of God. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. That's all mind work. That's all mind work that I got to be able to deal with that, having a mind, set my mind on these things that are above and not beneath. Come on here. Reach for the calling of the high calling of God. Well, I was asking the Lord to help me on today to be able to share with you. If you with me, say I'm with you. Say I'm with you. Doc. Amen. But over in 1 Corinthians, the 17th chapter, and if we began to look at really even starting at, hey, Mika Love, good morning, baby. Look at verse number 6. I'm over at 1 Kings 17:6. And it says, and the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and the bread and the flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there uh had been no rain in the land. And the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Arise and get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I've commanded a woman there to sustain you. Listen, I commanded a widow woman to sustain you. Now, Lord has been sustaining Elijah. He didn't use the two dirty birds, right? I had to get over that. That they're the baker and the butcher. They're bringing bread. They're bringing meat, and he's drinking by a brook. Sometimes God will allow things to dry up to get you uh, to your next assignment. I'm talking to somebody. Sometimes the things that we have, when we understand that the Lord is our God and our provision, that it is so important for us to understand that He'll move us. If we're too comfortable, He'll move us. Sometimes it takes more than just a word, it takes a push. And so He tells him to go on over to Zarephath because there's a widow woman who will sustain him. I'm like, a woman, a widow woman? You're sending him to a widow woman who is really seeking and living and working off of her last. God, I need you to hear me. God bless you, Ambassador Linda Wilson. Thank you. And this thing just made me want to do backflips in my spirit because I'm thinking about a widow woman who has her son, and y'all know the story. If you look down on it, and it said, look at 8, and it said, and the word of the Lord came to him saying, get up and arise, right? Go to 10. So he rose and he went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering sticks, and he called to her and said, fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel that I might drink. Right? Look at 11. And as she is going to fetch it, he called to her and said, and bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. And she said, as the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of morsel in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in, dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and then die. Listen, ah, this thing got me. I said, Lord, so you were already planning. You were already planning. You needed to be able to get the prophet together. Listen here, Pastor Tisa. This thing will blow your mind over here in 1 Kings 17. Listen, I decree and declare this thing. The Lord knew exactly what she was planning, but it required absolute obedience. When the Lord is requiring of you of what you have so little of. But remember the word that was spoken to Elijah. I'm sending you to this widow woman so that she may sustain you. She doesn't have at that moment enough to sustain her and her son. Watch it. When the Lord understands that you have come to your last, but yet he sends a prophet saying that you will be the sustainer, means that he will sustain you so that you may sustain the prophet. I promise you there's a miracle in this message on today. When you're working out of a remnant, when you're working out of something so small, even if it's patience, even if it's a little of hope, even if it's like, listen, God, but now you're being required to give what you do not have. I promise you, it's a setup for a miracle. Somebody said, Lord, I just feel like I've been set up for a miracle. Elder Tia, this thing, I said, I love Kings. When I think about it, Ambassador Kim, listen, God will sustain you. He already knew, Ambassador Michelle, that she was working, what her plans were. She said, I've come to the end of myself. I've come to the end of my own provision. I want to minister to somebody today that when you come to the end of yourself and God is requiring that which you feel like you're already running low of, There is a setup in that message. There is a setup in it. There's a miracle in the madness. Somebody said, I received the miracle in this madness. Whatever the madness may be, I need you to understand that God already knew what the needs were, both with the prophet and with the widow. He already knew. Listen, he allowed it to happen. There's some things that you're experiencing that it causes frustration. And then you come to the place where, you know what? I quit. I'm done. I did all that I have. But see, that's when the Lord can step in. When you come to the end of yourself. Listen, somebody on here need to be real honest with yourself and with God. I've come to the end of myself. I've given all that I know how to give, but I believe God. So she was good with it. She said, listen, I'll give you some water. I'll make that happen. Do you hear me? Come on here, Ambassador Jada. That's my baby girl right there. I need you to hear what I'm saying. It's like he'll set you up that when you feel like I can't go any further, when I don't, you're asking of me what I don't have. Why? Because he said, I am your sustainer. There was a place of obedience that had to occur with both Elijah and the widow woman. Elijah could have just listened. He could have called the famine off. He could have just spoke more water. He could listen. There was a whole lot of stuff. That man was powerful, you see. But the Lord told him he allowed in the nick of time, Ambassador Nikki, he allowed the spring of water to dry up. Why? Because it was driving the prophet to move. Some things, this trip, this relocation, this next move is really not just about you. Do you hear me? Oh my God, I love you too. This thing, y'all should share this thing. Thank you for sharing, Ambassador Michelle. But he'll drive you. I want to talk to the people that the Lord is driving to make a move. And then I want to talk to the people who come to the place where it is causing a radical obedience. You want me to give when I only got enough right here, just enough. I don't even plan for tomorrow, because I got just enough for today. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know I'm talking to somebody on today. Listen here. And it says, arise and thee to Zarephath and belong unto Zidion. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain you. Now, it doesn't say in the scriptures that she heard a word from the Lord, but he knew her heart. When the Lord knows a woman's matters of the heart, the things that are in your heart that matters. Listen, it's like, I'm going to do the best I can to sustain me and my son. And then whatever happens tomorrow, if we die, we're just dying. We see death all around us. We see people not making it. But God has already pre-thought a plan, a survival plan has already been put in place. But it calls radical obedience. I need to talk to some people that when you have to do good, when you have to serve, when you have to extend and you don't have it, listen, it's like, listen, I promise you, I'm like trying to do good when I'm like, Lord, you have no idea. No, he understands. He understands. You want me to do what? Am I talking to somebody on today? Listen here. God bless you, Tricia. I decree and declare this is called radical obedience. I must submit to the Father. I don't know what he's doing, but I trust and believe God that he has a succession plan, that he has my strategy, because the strategy here is that, watch this, he makes this request. And the verse number 12, when you think about verse number 12, right? It says, and she said, as the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I'm gathering 2 sticks, that I might go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. And Elijah said unto her, fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me. After make for thee, for thy son. Listen, it was a radical request and a blessing that had to take place, Pastor Naomi. It was radical. He said, now it seemed to be cruel. It seemed that what the prophet was asking was cruel. It's like, you want me to take care of you first when I already just told you I got just enough. He said, listen here, this is what people don't understand. When you honor the men and women of God, the prophet in your life, I promise to tell you the truth. When you give that, there's a blessing that's attached to it. There's a strategy that comes with it. I promise to tell you the truth. You better hear what I'm saying. And so he said, bring mine first. Not only do I want you to make it, but I want you to bring what I told you to bring, and I want you to bring it first. See, that's where we miss it, because we stay in our head. We stay in a place of impoverishment. We stay in a place of it's called radical obedience, that I believe God. And because you sustain the man, she was sustained the man of God first, right? It turns out to be, watch this. He said that the barrel meal shall not waste, neither shall a cruse of oil fail until the day that the Lord send the rain upon the earth. That means through this tough season, because of your obedience, I got you. Oh, I'm talking to somebody today. Because of your radical faith and obedience, God will sustain you through the famine. And I want to go deeper, because I'm talking about mental health right about now with Christians and our belief system. I'm telling you that God will sustain your mind. He'll sustain your body. He'll sustain your finances. I'm talking to the people where it looks like I'm coming to the end of a thing, but I decree and declare that God is your sustainer. He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. Who am I talking to today? Y'all should be sharing this message. We got so many people that are on the brink of letting go. So many people that feel the quit, that I'm talking about, who got stuff, that got plenty of things, got plenty of resources, but your mind is at listen, it's a famine place of joy. If there's a famine of happiness, come on here. I want to talk to that famine, that my God, I decree and declare, Ambassador Shira, Evangelist Shira, listen here. He knows what we need before we even ask for it. He has already got a strategy that is in place to sustain you. I decree and declare in this summer that this is a season of time, everything in time, because you are willing to make the investment at this particular time. He says, I will sustain you until the latter rain comes. Come on here. Until this famine is over, I got you. Listen, listen, I want to talk to somebody on today. You probably can't even find nobody who could give you a kind word or do a kind deed. You could find yourself feeling depleted of serving and giving and doing. My God, but God will provide for you. My God, He will provide that kind of joy. He will provide that kind of sustain, that He'll sustain you, not with just substance. He'll sustain you with substance, but He'll sustain you with peace. Somebody said, Lord, sustain me with peace. Sustain my mind. Sustain my hope. Sustain my joy. Sustain me on today. There's been a famine, my God, because we've got people who don't even know how to do a real warm embrace. We got people who don't have a kind word. Listen, we got folk that are suffering with an angry spirit, but I decree and declare that if you will sustain, if you will obey God. Somebody said, listen here, I thank you, even in the hard place, even in the hard time in my life, I know that you have not forgotten me. You have not left me or forsaken me. Come on here, that He is a present help in a time of trouble. Don't ask me why I turned the curve and went this way, but God is talking to somebody on this line on today. Do you hear what I'm saying? He said, I will sustain you, that if you'll do it first, if you'll sacrifice it first, if you'll give that portion to me first, I promise you, you'll never lack nothing. And I used to teach this thing over and over again, LGC. I used to talk about this, and I said, I believe that, watch this, you already knew you only had a little bit. So whenever she went into that barrel, it's a deep barrel, you see, and I can only imagine that when you go into the deep barrel, you can't see in up to the barrel while you're reaching for it. But when you go in, listen, you already know there's a little bit there. But every time you go in, you pull out what you need. I speak this blessing to you today that as you go down into your barrel, my God, that whatever you need, that God sustains you. I decree and declare that you might not see it in it, but you ain't run out of it. I decree and declare that there's more in you that meets the eye. Can I just push you today? Because we need what's in you. We decree and declare increase come now. Yesharabokoshaya. I decree and declare increase come now. And it is so. Lord, give me the increase of wisdom. Give me the increase of patience. Give me the increase even in this long suffering. Give me increase. See, listen, I decree and declare, give me increase of patience. Am I talking to anybody on today? Father, I thank you that even in this widow woman, that there has been a loss, that there has been a place, but you have already pre-spoken that I've commanded. Why? I want to talk to those people that God has commanded you to do good. God has called you to be the one to be the peacemaker. God has called you to be the one to cover. God has called you the one to provide. Listen, I don't care what it looks like or what it sounds like, but Father, I thank you for increase. I thank you for stretching. I thank you for giving them what they thought they ran out of. I decree and declare that even in the shift of this word, that their mind shifts, my God, and is filled up on your love, that their heart is healed today in every broken place, that their hope is being restored. Somebody say, and it is so, and so it is. With the authority that you've given this maidservant, I speak this word on today, and I decree and declare that you shall live and not die. I decree and declare that your household be saved. I decree and declare there be peace in your home, peace on your job, peace in your ministry, peace while you're driving. Come on here. Peace while you lie down at night and rise up in the morning. I speak peace to you, and you ain't had peace and good rest in a mighty long time. But I say, receive it today. I say, oh, receive it on today. And it is so. And then I want to look at this, right? And it says, and she went and she did according, saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days. When you bless the men and women of God, that the listen, when you are invested, when you're consistent, watch this. It said that he and her house did eat many days. I speak a many day blessing. I speak a season to you that you will laugh, live, love, come on here like never before. I speak to your household that everything that is out of alignment comes into alignment. I speak that you have the wisdom and the knowledge to keep digging for something that you know should have ran out a long time ago. But Father, I thank you for being our sustainer. Somebody, everybody who's listening to me right now, I want you to thank him for being your sustainer. God, I thank you for sustaining my house. I thank you for sustaining, come on here, my mind. I thank you for sustaining my joy. I thank you for sustaining, come on here, my heart, my energy. I thank you for being a sustainer. Thank you for giving me the grace. See, this is the thing, and I'm done. I want you to be able to understand this. I want you to hear me real good, Faina. Listen here. The Lord already knew that he had her heart. Golly. And I agree with you, Ambassador Michelle. I agree with you. You shall live and not die to declare the works of the Lord. That healing is in your body. Come on here, Ambassador Stella. I decree and declare God is sustaining me. He's regulating me. He's fixing me in the places that I thought I could not make it. I want you to receive this gift today. Receive the gift that God has already purposed it in your heart. Think it not strange that you are the one who keeps extending themselves. Think it not strange that you are the one that keeps covering your household and doing. Come on here. But when you come to the end of yourself, God already has a plan. There's a miracle. Some of y'all listening to me right now and said, I so needed this word. I so needed to check my mind and check my heart. Because this widow woman was like, listen, I had your water. I was going to give you the water, but what you're asking of me, I don't have. He said, listen, I want you to take what you have and I want you to bring me the first. Listen, when you're down to the widow's mite, you hear me? Hear what I'm saying today. A miracle is coming your way. And some of you, I'm not talking about what's in your hand. That's not what's running short. What's running short is your hope. What's running short it is the long suffering. What's running short is your tenacity, your stamina to move on and go forward. But the Lord is sustaining you, because after this, here comes the miracle. After this, oh my God, I speak longevity. I speak healing. I speak provision. I'm like, even when you don't know how he gonna do it, just know he gonna do it. Somebody should just thank him right now. God, I don't know how you gonna do it, but I know you're gonna do it. I know that miracle. Absolutely, Mary. If there's some stuff, he'll send help. He'll send an extension. He'll send opportunities. Trust and believe God. He's a keeper. But you got to be ready to move. You got to be ready for immediate obedience. Immediately. It can't be something that you're slow walking. It can't be something I'm getting ready to do. No, just something that I got to do when up right now. I'm done. I'm done. He told me to share that word with you, and I want to give this declaration, and this thing will bless you. Mm-mm-mm. I declare that I am calm and I am peaceful. Somebody should write it up on that. I decree and declare that I am calm and I am peaceful. I choose peace today. I will not let people or circumstances upset me. I'm not going to lose my cool in Jesus' name. I will rise above every difficulty, knowing that God has given me the power to remain calm. Are you listening to me? Come on here. I'm talking to you. We doing this together. I will rise above every difficulty, knowing that God has given me the power to remain calm. I got a peace beyond man's understanding. Where I would normally fight, come on here. I got a peace beyond man's understanding. I'm going to do the unexpected because I'm in a new season and a new cycle. I choose to live my life happy. Come on here, don't. This is a decision. I choose to live my life happy. Bloom where I'm planted and let God fight my battles. This is our declaration on today. This is the declarations that I will remain calm and keep my peace. Not internally raging, but having real serenity and peace about it. That God's got me. I look, he sees all things and knows all things, but he already knows your heart, baby. Surrender your will to the Father's will and take dominion. Listen, at creation, God gave man dominion over the entire physical realm and making him, listen, to the de facto of the king of the earth. To dominate means to govern, to rule, to manage, to lead, and have authority over something. Stop losing it. Stop losing. Take dominion. Take authority. Bring order back, all in love. But you cannot do it until you get it back first in your mind, in your own head, in your own heart. Come on here, and it will begin to ooze out of you. There is a very important distinction here. God gave us rulership of the earth, not ownership. Someone who gives up ownership to another person also surrenders all the responsibility for it. So when I give that over to the Lord, then I'm not responsible for all of that, but I am responsible for my actions. And my actions is that I choose to give this over to the Father, give this situation over to God, to give my mate, to give my children, to give this ministry, to give this business. Listen, listen. I'm giving it back to him who has all authority, who has all power and influence. But it takes extreme obedience, radical obedience in this season to hear this word, to obey God, and respond accordingly. This is not just a test. No, this is what's going to sustain you in this season is your radical obedience to obey God, and he'll make you a sustainer in the kingdom. You'll be a kingdom sustainer. You'll be the budget maker. Come on here. And he picked the least likely. Yeah, why not you? God always picks the underdog, the one that people think. But it was a crash course of divine merger. You hear me? A divine merger with the prophet and the widow woman. He made them both move. Because stuff dried up. That it pushed them together in an unlikely place. God is divinely setting you up for greater. Just be open. Don't lose hope. Keep living. Enjoy the journey. Decree and declare today is going to be great. Today, the answer comes. Today is my breakthrough. Today, I can see clearly. Today, it's happening for me. Today, it's working out for me. I promise you, I'm in my season of time, and God is sustaining me through this time. Somebody said, I receive it, and it is so, and so it is. I got to go. I pray to God that this word has encouraged you like it's encouraged me today. Listen, I love you, Britt. That's my daughter in Tulsa. I decree and declare he is your sustainer. He is sustaining you. Mother Judy, I miss you. He's sustaining you mentally. He's sustaining and regulating your heart. He's sustaining you physically. He's sustaining you. Somebody said, God, thank you for sustaining me. Because, see, I promise to tell you the truth. Stuff doesn't sustain you. It's his power of his love. It's his encouragement. It's the kind word that you get. Do you hear me? Come on here, Shay. Just continue to keep showing up. Keep giving your best. But I promise you, I've never seen, listen, David talks about it. I once was young, but now I'm old. But I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. No, no, baby. I ain't never. He's always come through. Somebody said, and today is my day that he's coming through. Come on here. I want you to be so bold today to change your language that will change your life. That today is the day that God's coming through for me. Yeah, he's my sustainer. And it is so. And so it is. Listen, I want you, if you just got on, go back and watch this thing. I'm over here at 1 Kings 17, starting around the 6th verse, dealing with man, you see. But it's that he's already proposed. He's already put it in the heart of the widow woman. He already put it in the woman's heart to do it. He knew that if it was asked of her, even in the hard place, even at a hard time, she gonna submit and do it. And it's going to release the blessing that she needs. Listen, God already knows your heart. Submit to him. Let that thing go so you can grow. Stop being angry. Don't be bitter. Be better. Come on here. Stop being mad at life. Thank God you got more life in you to live. And if he woke you up this morning, and obviously he did because you're watching me now, listen, he's not through with you yet. So why have you given up? Why have you quit? No, baby, get yourself together and let's live our best life. When? Right now. And it is so, and so it is. If you continue to read on in that chapter, I done ran out of time, so you got to come back on tomorrow. But listen here, you'll find out that God even sets up to do birth work, to create a season that even life comes at death. My God, that nothing, because she has the prophet close and in her house and making provision and staying faithful, that when death does hit her doorstep and hit her son, the prophet goes in and does birth work, because there's a resurrection, that one that had to deal with back there, that listen, that I'll sustain you. I'll give you what I have little of, but I believe, God, that we'll never go lacking, and that full provision will be made in our house. I'm talking about what God will do that money can't buy. Listen, he'll give you peace in mind. He'll restore your hope. He'll restore your joy. He'll restore your energy. Whatever that is, he'll restore your health. Receive it today. Somebody said, I receive it, and it is so. I receive this word on today, and it is so. I want you to obey God right now. I want you to hear and obey God. Put a seed in the ground on this word. He is my sustainer, which allows me to sustain others. Because he sustains me, I can sustain others. And I'm talking about not doing it grudgingly. I'm talking about by faith. Hey, Nisi, I love you, Hannah. I want you to obey God. And whatever he's speaking to you, I want you to give that today. I talked about it yesterday. I promise you. In less than 30 days now, I'm on my way with my team to Burundi, Africa. I am going to a place where the people love God, my God, that their hearts are on fire, but need the prophet to show up as a sustainer, to bring hope, to keep pushing, to motivate. Will you help me deliver this message in person into villages who are praying and waiting for an answer? I believe miracles are going to show up. I believe, God, that those children in the orphans, when we touch them, pray for them, and hold them and anoint them with oil, that their lives will be changed. I believe, God, that at that prayer summit in the mountain in Burundi, I believe, God, that if you will help me get there, if you will sow the seed today, that whatever that seed is, it's going directly into allowing this ministry to be stretched and gone beyond our borders into territories where they are waiting for a word of encouragement and hope. And then as you sow this seed, I decree and declare that the Lord will sustain your mind, sustain your heart, sustain your resources through this next season, that you will not experience famine the way others have and are. I decree and declare that I am confident that with this, out of your obedience, I promise you, God is coming. He already knows. He knows your heart, and that you will respond to the request of this woman of God. I pray the sustainer anointing. He's giving you grace for it. You've been graced to go through it. You've been graced to do it. Do you hear me? And it is so. And so it is. I believe that up on the screen, there's different ways that you could be able to give and so on today. I'm praying with you and for you as those seeds. Here it is, that mission trip to Burundi. I want y'all to pray for us. We'll start traveling on July 20th. We'll arrive there on the 21st. I decree and declare that with that, absolutely do this thing. Stand with us as I know this is this ain't no vacation. This is mission work. This is a promise that must be fulfilled. And the Lord has called us to go, and we must go. We must go. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I know he's going to do it. And I believe that as you share this message and use your influence, your power of influence, that you will be one of our partners to help make this a reality in a great way. We're going to be bringing food, but number one, we're going to be bringing hope and prayer. Come on here, and touching lives and increasing faith in a miraculous way. Well, I pray for you today. I'm so grateful that you joined us. Will you share this word with me today? Will you just share it? Just share it. Put a word next to it. He's my sustainer. He is my hope in a hopeless situation. I promise to tell you the truth. I love all of y'all. I just want you to be open. Let your spiritual cervix be open to give birth to your next assignment, even in the hard places. Come on, believe God with me as He does this for you and me on today. Somebody, everybody say, let it be unto me as your word has spoken it. I receive this word, and it is so, and so it is. This is Dr. Ribbon, your spiritual midwife, telling you, baby, breathe, baby, breathe. Listen, your midwife is on duty. You heard this word on purpose for a great purpose. Don't you lose hope. Don't you faint now. Let's go ahead using our tools and winning the day. May the Lord keep you and sustain you always. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. I love you. Check you out tomorrow. Bye-bye.